Welcome to the Corporate Business Sales Matrix Training Program, the sales, leadership, business, and personal development platform for individuals seeking to sharpen the sales perspective, improve their selling skills, and get a boost of motivation because selling is a way of life. Selling produces commissions. Selling is a way of life. Persistence leads to greatness. Selling is a way of life. Corporate business is the answer. What's good? What's good? What's good? So, on today's platform, we're going to talk about our business development program, or in other words, the road to the sale, your pipeline, your sales and marketing funnel, because it's basically it's basically the road to the sale. It's the steps. It's the evolution of your starting point. It's the evolution of of going into a space where you know no one, where you're unknown, going into a space, generating a lead, generating interest, and converting that interest into not only a customer, but a supporter, an advocate, a patriot for your business. How can you convert a stranger to a patriot of your business? That's the starting point. So, so basically, it starts off with a marketing, and marketing is the outreach, the promotion campaign where you go out, communicate your product, your idea, and you generate interest. And then when you get interest, you qualify. You have your stage which qualifies um, interest by by people reaching back. People receive your communication, then they reach back, and then how do they reach back? It's going to come in the form of a question. Uh, 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 um, it's going to come in the form of a question, a query, a um, yeah, they might even object to your thing. Even that's interest in itself. You they you made an impression enough for them to respond. That's that's interest. I never said good is a good interest. Nonetheless, interest is interest. There's good interest, there's bad interest, and there's neutral interest. Okay, so if you got good, if you got interest, but then whatever stage of interest they are, you need to convert them into good interest. The sign of a good interest is when they give up their contact details. You get the contact number for them to find out more about the product, and then that's the marketing stage. Now you're in the selling stage. The selling stage, you should be trying at the selling stage. You should be trying to get some information from your leads that or the prospect. At this stage, they've gone from a lead to a prospect. Um, Now the prospect, you should be trying to fact find and get to know your prospect. You should know who you're dealing with. Basically, you should do some market intelligence, some fact finding, and find out what they're going through, what they're looking for. Ask the right questions, after tough questions to get to what to to not only to position yourself to to offer your product or make your proposal, but it's also to for you to see that this is somebody that needs your help. Your that is the right fit for your product service. And if you should go further, this is where you should be deciding whether this is the right thing to do. And once you got enough information, you position yourself and you cater your proposal by 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 aligning the aspects, the features of your product service with the aligning it with their problems, and then you'll be able to align the solutions of your product with solving their problems. And if they're a person in the right mind, if they're a logical person, if they're a person that's genuinely in the market to solve their to satisfy their need and their want, then they'll most likely be open um to buy your product, to accept your proposal, especially if they have the finances. Because at that point, if it logically makes sense, if it emotionally makes sense, it's just a matter of finances. Can they afford your product? Do they have, and can they use your product? Can they utilize, and will they afford your product, and will they be able to utilize your product? So that's the sale. And then once they've come to the conclusion that they do want the products, you need to have a process, which is the closing element, which is separate to the selling. You need to have a closing element which makes that transition from prospect to customer very, very smooth. So if you need contracts, if you need contact details, if you need to take the money, exchange money, and you need to provide the goods, you need to ask yourself pre close, you need to have this in mind, how you going to make that transition from selling to close, because in that transition anything can happen. You could blow the deal because you couldn't make that transition smoothly, or in that period of time of making that transition things got weird and they lost confidence in you, they lost trust, they no longer had certainty, right? So So you want to make that as smooth as possible, and you need to be comfortable asking for the payment. But at the same time, you have to deliver what you're trying to sell. Okay, you can't take the money and not deliver. But if you do deliver, you have to be comfortable asking for payment. Because a lot of entrepreneurs don't feel comfortable doing this. I had a friend call me one time. He was like, he sold a service to a mutual friend, and he called me up asking, "Man, he's my friend. I don't know how to ask him for money. Like, I don't feel comfortable asking him to pay me." And I was like, "Man, I told him I've been there. I've definitely been there." And I realized, and I know, and when I notice things like that, I take it personally, and I have to figure it out. I have to be like, nah, like I can't do this again. I can't go through this again. So you learn, you practice, you learn, and you get better. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. One thing about closing and getting to close, now you have to um um by the way, a close isn't a transaction isn't closed until you deliver your product, and a customer uses the product and is happy with the product. So if you think you've closed your customer, for example, a guy goes into a shop, buys his Twix bar, walks out. He went into the shop, bought a Twix bar, paid the shopkeeper, left with the Twix bar, and walked out. As a sales in this program, the sale isn't complete until, yes, the transaction happened between the exchange of value, the exchange of money happened. He gave him the money, he walked out with a Twix bar. The transaction is not closed until that person opens up the Twix bar and eats that Twix bar and is happy and acknowledges the satisfaction of that Twix bar. So if you're a shopkeeper and you find out that customer bought a Twix bar from your store, wasn't happy, not just the shopkeeper, everybody, because the Twix company, they'll probably have a more vested interest in that. But as a shopkeeper, you're in the chain of the sale process, so you have a vested interest in the satisfaction of of um the customer eating your Twix bar. And it's not a customer no more, it's your client. But anyway, so until he eats that and is happy, you as the shopkeeper should not be satisfied with the information that they came brought to expire. You want more. You should want more information from your customer, and this is where the customer service element. You see how it just naturally progresses into each segue of the step of the road to the sale. You see how natural it just effortlessly, naturally progresses each stage into another. You know what I mean? So after that, now you have you have a customer. You providing customer service. You want to when you're providing customer service, you want to be nurturing. You still got to keep the attitude of nurturing. All right. You still want to know the best of your client or your customer. You want to do this, streamline your process. You want to get it right the first time and consistently get it right after that time, after that first time. Because this builds trust, this builds confidence, trust and confidence, which is key values in making a sale. You building trust, you building confidence, and God forbid something does go wrong, which it does. We're all human. We don't live in a perfect world. This imperfection is part of our world, so we need to learn to manage it. What steps do you have in play for when things go wrong for your business? When things go wrong, when a customer is dealing with your business, customers use your product, what things in place have you got in place? Because this is part of the customer experience. You want the customer to have the most amazing experience with your product or service, so they go away, tell your friends, tell their friends and family about the experience they had, and then and if they don't, that means you're not delivering at wow levels. You need to step your game up. You need to find a way to deliver at wow levels. This is business. This is selling. This is selling. This is selling. All right. So now you've got your passionate customer. You've given them a fabulous experience with your product. They love it. They what's next? They are now a patriot. They are now a patronizer. And what? A partner. A partner. And so that's the evolution. And when you have a partner, that means, you know, a customer business relationship just isn't one way. Yeah, you should try to think of it as a partnership. They give and take, and you give and take. So you can give back. You should find out about your customer and think of ways, creative ways, creative ways to give back to them now. Maybe patronize their business. Maybe find out who they know that you have a problem with. They may know someone, and then you helping them. And this can be from stakeholders, your suppliers, your customers, your friends and family, like colleagues. This the world is your imagination is your limit. Your imagination is your limit, basically. Your imagination is your limit. And now the more contacts you have, the more partners you have, this is your power base. The stronger the more opportunities you're going to generate, the more obstacles. Yeah, you're going to have more obstacles, but these obstacles are actually opportunities for you to make a name for yourself, for you to help others, service, and build your brand for your business, brand for you. And that's the road to the sell. That's the road to the sell.